Alright, everybody, what's going on? I went through a ton of emails today, and I want to go over some photos before the 21st tomorrow, when Montclair is supposed to speak on this topic, correct? Okay. In the beginning, when all this evidence started coming out, Monifa had stated that when she left Kanika in the lobby and realized that she forgot the cell phone and keys, that she left her in the lobby and went to the 3rd floor. Now, I've stated this before. What's on the 3rd floor? Because from my understanding and TripAdvisor comments on the reviews on the Crown Plaza Hotel, a lot of people are complaining of a weird smell and hardly any Wi-Fi capabilities, okay? And if we go back to when Irene was in the room and she says that's a weak-ass connection, at first I thought it was weed, that she was talking about a weed dealer. And maybe she was, but maybe they weren't on the 9th floor. They were on the 3rd floor, which would explain why the phone wasn't working with the Wi-Fi. Now, I watched this pool video where Kenneth Tart and them are all talking out by the swimming pool, and then they come into this party. Did anybody notice, if you look behind him, did anybody notice that they're coming in a patio door? How do you come in a patio door on the 9th floor? Now, they've also stated that these were different hotels, but that's kind of up in the air on whether or not what hotel they were at. Because I'm under the impression that the Rosemont Hotel pool is indoors, and the Marriott Chicago O'Hare pool is outdoors. So we need to look into that. But if you look right back here, you can see the patio door, and if you watch the video, at 5 minutes and 49 seconds is when they start coming in that patio door. Okay, the lady behind the desk, from my understanding, her name was Yesenia Garcia, okay? And we've looked up a couple different profiles, and when I was going through some profiles today, trying to look for the lady behind the desk, I came across this. Now, I don't know if this is the same person as the person I showed you yesterday, but I think it's odd that the Yesenia has an S instead of a C, and now it has 2 S's, and the last name is now in front. Now, there's no pictures, there's no anything on this profile. It's just as you see it right now. So that's another thing to look into. And this is just the profile picture blown up. Okay, here's a TripAdvisor. Let me turn my phone. TripAdvisor of the Michelangelo guy, okay? And if you look on here, Los Angeles, California, that matches up. September 29th. He has his name as Manuel S., which I thought was kind of odd, but not if they're using all these different fake profiles. He states that he recently stayed at the Crown Plaza and had a nice stay. The hotel rooms are big and spacious, but a little dated. There are several restaurants and shops within walking distance and free shuttle services offered, including pickup from the airport. The staff was nice and friendly and recommended. I'm sure a lot of people would argue the fact on the staff at this point, but I wanted to point this out. And I think it's kind of odd that it was in September, and he also works there, so that's another red flag to why he would be posting a positive comment to push out positivity towards all the negative comments. Here we go. Okay, I saw this on Facebook. It's on Tay Zonde's page, and it's basically stating, we received your findings. I appreciate all your hard work. However, that Kanika is in witness protection. Have you guys ever had those phone calls where, I know I get them every day, when people call and they're like, we're from the IRS and we're here to give you grant money. Bullshit. The IRS isn't going to call you over the phone. Okay? You can barely get a hold of them when there's an emergency. That's legit. Let alone if Kanika was in protective custody. One, you would think that you'd be able to spell her name right. And two, they're not going to tell anybody that she's in witness protection. And I'm not saying that's anything against Tay Zonde. I'm saying that this is bullshit. That nobody is going to tell somebody that they're in witness protection. Okay? Now, I received an email with probably 10 to 15 photos, and it was labeled Crown Plaza Conspirators. However the hell you say that word. So, I'm going to go through this, and if you notice, he looks like a cartoon figure. Okay? So, I don't know if this is an added image or what. But, I want you to notice that, because I think this is the only picture that I got that actually looks like a cartoon besides the one in my other video. And maybe it wants me to go the other way here. Let me see. Okay. I'm going to try to get close. You see this older gentleman? Looks like he's in charge of something at the hotel, and then the guy behind him. I think they were under the impression that that is David Friedman, the ambassador of Israel. I don't know if they messed with the photos, because David Friedman has more hair than that. I have a better... See? He has way more hair than that. So I'm not too sure if that's him. If somebody wants to mess around with these photos and see this lady walking through the hallway, okay, or not the hallway, the lobby, and then here's a closer picture of the lady that was in there, my video the other day. It's a little bit more clear, but like I said, like it looks like she has a black eye. But I think that's just them messing with the photos. And then you've got this guy that's sitting back here watching the surveillance tapes. So we have a lot of different people that are back here watching these surveillance tapes. And what I find odd is, how did they not see Kanika walking around the halls? Like, every time I've ever stayed at a hotel, I used to smoke weed. So we'd have to sneak outside to go smoke. And, like, they would find you outside. So, how do they not know that a drunk person, that drunk, is stumbling through the hallways enough to, as much as they're running around everywhere, enough to know where she's at and go do their job and find out whether or not she's okay? Especially with their history. Now, this is a close-up picture of the guy behind the desk. I think this is a stunt double because the other guy looked way younger. Okay, I don't know what is going on with his hair. It kind of looks like he got hit in the head with an axe and he had stitches. But, I mean, that's just an assumption because I've never seen anything like that. Here's another person that's walking through the hallway that could be new. They could have added, or we're getting footage, which is another reason, case closed or not. We've obviously know that this was not an accident, regardless of what the outcome is. But if the police department closed the case, why are they still releasing all this footage with new people? And here's this guy again. It's a little bit closer, but if you look at the right hand, the right arm, there's no hand. Like, I hope to God they're not, like, working for, like, MGM or, like, Pixar, because they're pretty shitty editors. Okay, then we have this guy down here, and the guy behind him with the cast. The guy behind him with the cast is new, because I don't remember ever seeing a guy with a cast. Then there's these three. The guy with the B on his shirt, the way that his legs are, kind of looks like the guy, the weird-looking Frankenstein guy, that's in the hallway with the cart lady standing by the door watching him walk that I had gone over before, stating that it could possibly be that David Chan. As far as who these two women are right here, I'm not too sure. They could just be people that were normal that were actually staying at the hotel and made it out alive. Now see, I kind of thought that this was the same guy, but if you notice from the other photo, of which they stated could be David Friedman, he doesn't have the gold name tag on his jacket. Okay, here's somebody obviously in the kitchen with a cutting board looking that way, which I believe to the left right there is where the freezer is, like when you go around that way. So what is he watching? Okay, this guy was one of the guys, I think, that either had the vacuum or I remember seeing him in some footage by the elevator. This is the same guy. I'm just not too sure who he is. He does have the same uniform on, and I wish I could get it close enough to see what his shirt says. Then there's this kid, which if they were having a dinner mystery theater thing, that would make sense because there are a lot of young teenagers there. Okay, now this looks like a younger kid, but like he actually looks like he's pregnant. Do you see that big bulge on his stomach? I'm not too sure if they like edited it or like I don't know. His body just looks proportioned wrong. Now let me know if anybody else has ever seen any of these people in this footage before this. Well, obviously the person that sent them to me. If you look at the lobby, then you see this guy in the X-Armor coat. Or not coat, shirt. And then here's this guy again, and as you can see, he's more bald, and there's the little gold sticker. And behind him looks like the same outfit that the other guy was wearing in the kitchen with the emblem on the shirt. So I'm wondering if that's some type of like cleaning, what am I trying to say, cleaning place or something like that, to where they come in and they do something for the hotel. Then we have these two. And as you can see over here, that's still the person in the pink shirt standing up at the front desk. Then we have this chick. A lot of people wear jean jackets, huh? I don't think I've wore a jean jacket since like 1998. Okay, then we have this little older lady. And then this guy, which I checked the weather. And another good point is that during September 6th through the 12th, it was 70 degrees in Chicago. So my next question would be is why do all these people have on heavy coats and sweatshirts and all that kind of stuff for 70 degree weather? I mean, I'm always cold, so I always have a jacket with me. But it doesn't make sense to why everybody looks like they're dressed for later fall than the 70 degree weather that it states was in Chicago during that week. And then here's creepy person again, which I'm also under the impression that maybe they have a mask on this person. Or maybe he played Mask in the movie with Cher back in the 80s, because I've never seen anyone look like this. Okay, somebody had sent me this. It's one of subjects involved employment info from Rosemont, okay? Now, they all have their names blocked out and their phone numbers, but if you go all the way down here, employer Mitchell Handyman Chicago Inc., and it states victim. So who the hell is that? Is that another victim? Or if this is a murder mystery, did this somehow get thrown into Rosemont's public safety thing, and this is who they were trying to find that got murdered in the mystery? I looked up that company, and it does exist. Why won't it let me go to the next one? Give me 1 second here. Maybe I have to go back. Okay, now yesterday I had gone over a guy named Michelangelo, and as I had shown you a little bit ago, I think it's coming up right here, he's under Manual S, okay? Now, we already know he's in California, and we already know he used to work at the Crowne Plaza. Somebody sent me this, and it's... Where's it at? I might have to... Give me 1 second. I don't want to expose anybody's emails. So this Michelangelo guy... sent me this picture that I'm about to show you. And I memed it beside someone, okay? And I want your opinion. Now, the guy on the right is the Michelangelo guy. And the guy on the left is Gina Kidd's husband. Okay? Now, the guy on the right, if you look at his eyebrows, see how one's darker than the other? Which makes me believe that it's kind of hard to see. But if you look, go to the profile, do whatever you need to do, or take a screenshot. Above his eyebrows looks like it's photoshopped. Like he really does have hair. And they photoshopped this photo to make him look different. And made him look tan. And when they did that, they brushed over the eyebrow, and I think that's why his face looks like that. But if you look at these two photos, they look really similar. So what do you guys think? Now, tomorrow is when Montclair or Clarissa Boateng is supposed to come and speak on this issue with Teresa Martin. I'm sure all of you that are paying attention to Facebook saw the Tay Zonde post on Dr. Ali and the 1999 Kenneka Jenkins murder mystery bullshit. I don't know exactly how I feel about that. There was a paralegal that spoke, if you go to that post, and she explains the certain laws and stuff regarding that. But let me ask you this. If he was to put that out, Kenneka Jenkins, 1999 murder mystery, yada yada yada, to stop whatever he wants to stop, wouldn't he have to have Teresa Martin's permission without getting his ass sued? I mean, that makes me wonder if he really has spoke to her, and if this is a psyop, or if it's not. And then the next thing I'd like to say to you, that if this is a psyop or some type of psychological experiment, where did we all sign an informed consent form stating that we agreed to be involved in a psychological experiment? Because then we can all get a class action lawsuit and sue the shit out of all of them. Has anybody thought about that? Now, I'm not saying that this is a psyop. I'm not saying it's fake. I'm not saying she's not deceased. I'm not saying that Teresa Martin is involved in this. But you have to admit that after 4 months, either this is the shittiest police department in the history of law enforcement, or it's a cover-up, or one big bullshit lie. Because if that was my daughter and I was distraught and she passed away at this hotel, and then I have some guy charging $20 for information that I'm aware that they're not getting, because at one point I thought Jay Moneybreed asked if he could have the information for free, and if he was told no, that's ridiculous. They're using this girl's name for money, which I'm not sure, like I said, if that's legal or not for him to use her name without Teresa Martin's permission. But if not, on top of suing the hotel for whatever she possibly could be suing the hotel for, she can sue Dr. Ali for using the name without her permission. So there's another valid point. And when I had spoke on Kenneth Tart and them coming into the patio door, like if you go to that video, you can even see the pool still right behind them. Makes another good point that they possibly could have not been on the 9th floor, because we hear that ambulance clear as day. Meaning what? That there was a patio door or a window opened. And I thought in 1990, I don't even know what it was. It had to be in the early 90s. When Eric Clapton's son fell off a balcony at a hotel, I thought they passed a law that after like the 2nd floor maybe, you weren't allowed to have windows that opened all the way. Now, that could still be that they were on the 9th floor or the 11th floor and the window cracked, but when I went to Vegas in July, the windows would not open. So that's another thing that we need to look into, because I know for sure we heard that ambulance like it was like right outside the door. You know what I'm saying? And why would Monifa state she was going to the 3rd floor to get the keys and the cell phone? Because the only thing we've ever heard is 926, 924, and the 11th floor. So now all of a sudden, in the beginning, which I think everybody just missed through all this chaos, is why is she going to the 3rd floor, and why does the 3rd floor have so many issues? So many issues as far as nasty smells and Wi-Fi not working. And in my head, that could either be a Wi-Fi blocker, or if they're doing corrupt things on the 3rd floor, that could be so that people can't call for help. Or if it's a murder mystery, maybe that's so if it is on the 3rd floor, there is a Wi-Fi blocker so that people can't text each other to give each other clues. I thought about that too. So I'm going to leave this right here where it's at, and we are going to wait for tomorrow for Montclair and Monifa, and I think she said Bree or Shamaya, to speak, and we're going to see where this goes from there, and I will be back with you tomorrow. And everybody have a good night.